So the Immortal has been getting a lot of disrespect lately, and I mean, honestly, I completely understand why. He's been taking, a lot of L's that he shouldn't be taking, like against the Mauler twins, and he's even being disrespected by the characters that are in the show.
I've been hit harder before, like way harder. Immortal your way out of that.
But even with all the L's that the Immortal has been taking lately and all the disrespect that the community has been giving him, I just want to say he still absolutely mollywops Homelander, both in the show and the comic version. So if he fought the version from the TV series, how would that go? The Immortal was able to damage Omni-Man during his fight with the Guardian, and again by himself during his fight with Nolan at the end of the series. This is the same guy who was hit by a laser from space, that did a shit ton of damage and walked out with only a nosebleed. Also, whenever Omni-Man was destroying that civilization by just flying through everything and destroying its cities, etc., I would also count that as an impressive showcase of his durability. I mean, being able to withstand that amount of force is actually pretty crazy. And honestly, I don't think we've seen Homelander do anything remotely close to this at all, which makes it even more impressive that the Immortal was even able to somewhat stagger and damage him. He was also able to momentarily land a few punches on Omni-Man, someone who's been training in lethal combat since he was a toddler, although he did catch him off guard while he was dealing with the situation with Mark. But still, I find that pretty impressive. Homelander from the show is getting damaged by people like Queen Maeve. I mean, he absolutely sucks at hand-to-hand combat. Really, he just relies on lasers, which makes him extremely predictable. In terms of his actual speed, maybe we can say he's faster than A-Train, or at least somewhat on the same level as him. A-Train does seem pretty afraid of him throughout the series. We know A-Train can run at a speed of Mach 3, but even this really isn't that impressive because when Immortal is flying towards Omni-Man at the end of season 1, he was actually calculated as flying at speeds of Mach 3. I would bet that he's probably a lot faster than that. But even then, at the very least, he's the same speed as Homelander. He has a lot better combat skill. He's a hell of a lot stronger. I mean, as soon as Homelander opens his mouth to say something snarky or try to insult the Immortal, he probably just takes his jaw off instantly. Okay, so what about the comic versions of these characters? Does Homelander stand a better chance in that realm? So from what I can gather, the comic version of Homelander seems a lot stronger than the TV version, at least if we're just going off of purely what we're shown. He's throwing fighter jets with one hand. In the show, Maeve might have given Homelander a little bit of trouble, but in the comic, he literally just punches her head off casually. He's also explicitly shown to be as fast as A-Train. He's able to tag him while he's running in super speed. This A-Train is also able to run at Mach 3 in the comic series. One thing I would like to point out though, there is a bit of a debate both within the comic and the TV series whether or not Homelander could survive a nuke. In the comic series though, it's just flat out stated that a nuke would kill him. As for the comic version of Immortal, he's able to do things like chuck planes into space, which makes that previous feat from Homelander look like child's play. He's able to fly into orbit and fly back down within seconds to attack someone within the United Nations building. And we've just never seen any version of Homelander even come close to this. He's also able to stagger Omni-Man in the comic version of this fight as well. And I know I keep bringing that up, but it is genuinely impressive that the Immortal was able to do this to any Viltrumite, let alone Omni-Man. Homelander has never even come close to hurting someone who can withstand flying through and destroying an entire civilization. The Immortal can literally do everything that Homelander can, but 10 times better. He can hurt people that Homelander realistically wouldn't even be able to land a punch on, and he would likely far outclass Homelander in hand-to-hand combat. Even with all the disrespect that the Immortal has been getting, at the very least, he still takes this dub.